Eurobike in Frankfurt, Germany is a massive cycling trade show. The first 3 days are open to business customers where brands try to sell shops and distributors on their latest and greatest. And media folks like myself will come and take a peek. And then the last 2 days are open to consumers. Let's take a stroll through the halls and see what's cool at Eurobike 2025. So there are all sorts of cool adult bikes here at Eurobike, but one of the things I'm most excited about is the kids' bikes. Giant has a new range of Seek bikes, quite small as you can tell. 650B with all proportional components, saddle widths that are appropriate, crank lengths, Q factor, handlebar, not just the drop, but even the width of these guys. There are 2 different super cool electronic drivetrains available. There's the TRP Vistar group that just came out. And then there's also a new, I've never seen, micro shift group on these 2 bikes. You've got all-road versions here with gravel-friendly tires. You've got road tire options. Prices range from the high Zoot, $3,200, all the way down to a more affordable $1,700. This is the new Giant Seek. Being a gravel channel, we have to talk about tire clearance. You've got up to 37 mil. Here's a cool little bit on this Seek, a cable to hydraulic converter. So you've got cable actuated levers, translates to hydraulics here, which goes down to the hydraulic brakes. There's another cool bit on this particular model of the Seek road/all-road/gravel kids bike. And here under the parent company umbrella of Giant, guess who's back? Stages, back in business. Still operating in Boulder, Colorado. Still a lot of the same people, a lot of same machinery, a lot of the same products. Stages has single-sided and left-right meters for road, mountain bike, and notably gravel. Seeing as how Shimano still does not make a power meter for GRX, you can get one from Stages. We're at the feedback stand with the latest greatest, the Pro Airlift, and the man himself, Doug, to tell us about it. Now you've got multiple stands, which I love. I've been using the Sprint stand forever. The Pro Mechanic HD I love because it's like this frame, super solid but easy to use. Yeah, now this is new and improved, and tell us how.
All right, well this is actually based on the Pro HD I think you have.
Yes.
But what we did is we added an air chamber that you can fill with a standard floor pump or compressor or even an electronic pump.
I'm gonna.
Oh, you want to do it?
I was gonna do it while you talk about it. Yeah.
So we've got here an e-gravel bike. I think this weighs about 40 pounds. Pump it up, 8 or 9 times, and you got it all the way to the top. It's actually quite easy to do it. People think it would be hard, but it only takes 15 to 20 psi to lift a heavy bike.
Yeah, my arm hardly works at all. That was piece of cake. And then there's a release valve for like either tiny little bits at a time, or you can.
Yeah, if you let all the air out, it's coming down.
I saw them work on e-bikes, but just even normal bikes. Sometimes you want to make adjustments to how high it is once the bike's in there, and this makes it a lot easier.
That's right. You instead of opening it and lifting it with your shoulder or something, you could simply use the pump to raise it a couple inches.
What's the weight on this guy? It seems like it could be something you could travel with.
That's, we're known for portable equipment, so this is very portable. It folds up just like our other stands and weighs 17, 18 pounds, so it's actually quite light.
Easy to tote around,
Yeah. And also with the pneumatic mechanism, you don't need to worry about washing your bike. You can cover it with water. It's not going to.
Right. There's no electronics you have to worry
There's no electronics. So it's actually we've been getting a lot of positive feedback on it here.
Including an award, won a Eurobike award. Congrats on that.
Yep. We won an award on it. So it's created a lot of buzz here.
Yeah. Nice stuff. Thanks, Doug.
All right. Thanks for stopping by.
While the many halls of Eurobike are packed with huge international companies, there's also a Handmade section dedicated to some very small builders with some cool stuff. Let's take a peek at some of these. So, Andrea, tell me about Altitude. Where are you based and what do you make?
Yeah, Altitude is an artisanal bike brand. So we make our own power components in our workshop near the Dolomites in Italy. So we make all by these products by our hands. We produce saddles in 3 different sizes for road bike, 2 for gravel bike and mountain bike. We introduce for this show the anti-slip saddle, so with this tiny strips with create a little bit more friction between the baby short and the saddle one, who wants to save more grams.
Sure, and these are already crazy light. I'm just looking at the weight cap here is 72 grams.
Yeah, this is the heaviest, and this is starting from 69 grams.
69 grams for a saddle.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Also, we introduced last year our oversized pulley system, so it's called Brantal, and we have compatibility with Shimano SRAM 12-speed AXS Ti2. We introduced also the seat post dedicated for some top brand bikes like Specialized SL8.
Yes.
And this weight is around 110 grams for the longest version.
Wow.
So it's very light.
And then tell me about this, the 3D printed, looks like titanium rails.
Also, for this show, we showcase this concept that is 3D printed rail saddle. So it's titanium, and we can get more flexibility on the saddle on this direction, and also we have on getting more comfort riding. So we are exploring new types of design with these new technologies. So this is a showcase. Also, 2 years ago we introduced the bottle cage. That is another project, but it's more interesting what we can do with additive manufacturing. And it's a 3D printed cage with titanium also, this one. And this is how it comes from the builder with supports that need to be removed from these pillars.
Sure.
And cleaning, and this is the final product. So it's weighs around 14 grams for each one.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Great technology, beautiful products.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andre.
Thank you.
Bike Ahead Composites is a brand familiar to Europeans, but perhaps not so many Americans. This is one of their one-piece bars. Their wheels, you may have seen. I covered some of these in my Traka bike video. Wild spokes, and this guy, the Super Fast, just won an award this year from Eurobike. A gravel bike made of wood. Carlo, what are we looking at here with the Ornus brand? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Well, I'm not the owner. I'm working for Ornus. It's an Italian company made in Tuscany.
Okay.
Actually, to cut it very short,
Sure.
this has grown in Slovenia and has been worked in Italy. That's
I
it.
see.
No carbon footprint. Nothing coming from Asia, from the other side of the world, apart, of course, from the components, in this case. Why wood? It's a natural shock. So we're talking about a non-low frame
Yes.
made in ash that is two triangle joined together, glued together.
Yes.
That is fully machined CNC internally. And there's I would say a big skateboard.
Okay.
Sandwich.
Yeah,
built in the
multiple plies.
chainstay
Yes.
in order to providing you this natural shock system that.
Shock absorption.
So
yes.
this is the perfect match, no? Wood and gravel.
Okay.
This is why.
And tell me again how to pronounce the frame, the brand?
Ornus.
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 Ornus. All right. Beautiful. Thank you, Carlo.
Thank you very much.
Jeannie, tell me about these beautiful NUA bikes you have here. It's like carbon drive, internal hubs, beautiful craftsmanship.
Yeah, so here at the show we have the Silice equipped with the roll-off.
Yes.
And on the other side we have the Raura model equipped with the Pinion Smart Shift. We built all of our bikes with both pinion and roll-off, so the customers can select which option they want.
Which do you have on your personal bike?
Roll-off.
Yes.
Because I prefer on gravel bikes, I would say roll-off makes perfect sense. On MTB bikes and all-terrain bikes, I'd say I have to go for pinion. But we give the customers the freedom to choose.
And with this roll-off, you're able to control that with the SRAM mechanical shifter.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we use the Gebla box here, which allows you to use the SRAM shifters on a drop bar.
Now, my understanding, it's been a while since I've ridden a roll-off hub, but my understanding was it was a planetary hub that was not indexed, that you could have infinite small gears. But with this setup, it's index shifting?
Exactly.
Okay. And you've got the benefit of a belt drive.
We have the belt
drive. You don't have to worry about maintenance or
exactly. So
moisture or anything like
all
this.
All the bikes that we built are all equipped with either roll-off or pinion, because our motto is to have bikes that are require super low maintenance, and are built to last a lifetime.
And then a dynamo front hub along
we have
the
the
same lines.
Sun Dynamo hub with integrated lights, with internal cable routing for front light
Front and rear.
And rear.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
We have 50mm tires on the Celica here to take you anywhere you want on the gravel paths.
Okay. Good stuff. Thanks, Jeannie.
Thanks a lot.
Is it a Crux? A Checkmate? No. It's Megamo Silk.
Megamo was born in Girona, and we were a really well-known brand, but these last years we were improving a lot our engineering, and now we have a really big brand and a big range of bikes, all located to performance. We want to go really into the premium and performance area. And since in Girona there's a really important movement that's gravel, we wanted to have a racing gravel bike. That's our Silk.
Yes.
We just launched it 3 years ago, and we are continuously improving. This year, the news of this bike is that the handlebar is more focused, is more narrow, and is more focused to competition. We'll have 5 different sizes of the handlebar, and you can choose if you want this one or either the old one, depending on your way of racing.
And then tell me about the West, if you would, please.
Sure. So the West, we used to have also the West in our catalog, but this year we changed all the frame set because we wanted to give a little bit more of performance, but in adventurous way. So it's our adventure and bikepacking bike, but also really fast and affordable for all these people who want to enjoy gravel without having to race or to feel more like a road bike.
Sure, so this is a little more relaxed, but you can still ride it wherever you want.
Exactly, and you can put a lot of bikepacking. It's prepared, the frame set and the carbon to have more weight. And then the new of this year is that we have as well integrated handlebar. This is the old handlebar that it's more relaxed, but you can also add the other one.
Okay. And what is the rough price range for the bikes?
We start in 2,500.
Yes.
And then we can go up till 8,000-9,000 euros. Yeah, it depends. We have like between 5 and 6 different setups in each one.
Okay. Great stuff.
It depends on the components.
Thanks for the tour, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Happy birthday, Eddie. Eddie Merckx, of course. One of the godfathers of the Belgian Mafia here in the Ridley Belgian Cycling Factory booth. Got some other fun colorways. Capri Sun. If you're my age, you remember this. I don't think you can poke a hole in the frame with a plastic straw the way you could a Capri Sun pack. You know how big gravel is? All the kids are going gravel. Even old Eddie. The RockShox Rudy on this guy. Transmission. Capable with the red Explorer. The Eddie Merckx Corsa Strasbourg tie. Eddie Merckx Strasbourg was one of the first gravel bikes I rode back before clutches were a thing on gravel bikes. Remember judging how bumpy the ride was at the end of the day by how much grease I had on my sock because the chain was just bouncing all over the place, smacking the chainstay, smacking my ankle. How far we've come. Now clutches are a thing. Ridley's got a couple Canzo models. The Fast is the race bike, and the Adventure, as the name implies, is the adventure bike. This bad boy is dressed in the new Rival Explorer, 13-speed, 1046, and a crank with a hole in it. You can look at my review of the Rival and new Force Explorer groups in the link below. And then the latest, greatest, the Ridley Aster RS, fresh from Unbound. And I got the integrated one-piece cockpit that is becoming increasingly common in gravel. And this guy with the increasingly less common 2x. GRX wired 11-speed. There's that clutch we were talking about. Might not keep the bike clean, but might keep your ankle socks clean. Latest Shimano GRX 1xDi2 wireless is here, of course. You can check out my video on that in the video description link down below. Basic story is that there's a lot of the same carryover. These are the 12-speed Di2 levers that came out last year with 2i. Rotors, calipers the same. Crank is the same. Cassette is an XT cassette, a 1051, and then this is the new piece, the 1x derailleur. Bluetooth, ampless.
Check, check.
Check, check. Marios, welcome to Eurobike. You just arrived.
Thank you.
Where were you coming from and how did you get here?
Yeah, we just traveled here and we are coming from Austria actually. From Lake Constance, Bregenz, a small city in Austria. And yeah, we did it in 2.5 days. So not too fast, but still a nice ride every day. Yeah.
Nice time to enjoy it. Yeah, I've stayed in Bregenz for when Eurobike used to be there in Friedrichshafen. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it's a different vibe here. So tell me about the bike. You're on an e-gravel bike here, Simplon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a new e-gravel bike with a TQ HBR 60 engine. It does, yeah, like the name says, 60 Newton meters of torque. With a pretty small battery actually, so it fits our bike with we have like the same one with the same silhouette without engine, and that was the actual plan with the bike.
Make an e-bike that doesn't look so much like an e-bike.
Yeah. And the engine is super silent, so it's really nice to ride. And also, we figured out on the ride, it's super easy to ride above 25 kilometers per hour, which is the limit.
That's the cutoff
over here.
Yeah, yeah. And then how many different settings do you have?
From support, from the engine.
Yes.
It's 3 different, but they have a pretty nice app, so you can still adjust like the support you want in each mode, like how responsive it is, how much Newton meter it gives you. Yeah.
So how many kilometers was it from Bregenz, and were you camping outside?
Yeah,
400. It's 400k.
400
nice.
Kilometers. Yeah.
Nice.
And we slept at the hotel.
Okay. That's my kind of bike packing. Yeah.
To keep it a little more relaxed, so every evening we had like a nice shower and a nice bed.
Yeah.
So we were fit again for the next day, and yeah.
And now you gotta work the show.
Yeah. The plan was to test like how much energy do we really need.
Yeah.
And we saved the energy, so we both never charged during the day.
Okay.
The engine originally can do 300, but it does 200 in this setting, and I think it's enough for this light type of bike. We have like different configurations.
Yeah.
And in the lightest one, it's 12.5 kilogram.
Okay.
So it really rides well.
Are you guys riding back home also, or are you gonna catch a ride back?
No, no, we will take the train back.
All right. Cheers, man. Good to know you.
Cheers.
I am a bike. Are you? Are you now? Pedals, wheels, I guess it counts. Here at the Gravel Club, some Cyclate add-ons to some 3T bikes. We got the Extrema Italia up top with, who is this passenger? Puppy dog with the puppy dog lid. Cyclate bag on that, and a few Cyclate bags on this Race Max Italia, which do indeed look quite light. Robert, what is the Gravel Club? Looks like I want to join.
Oh, you should. You should. It's the Gravel Club is kind of a organized but loose community that's existing in different areas in Germany, where we bring the activity to the people, or the people to the activity, through community rides, events, bikepacking overnighters and stuff, and also coming here to conventions and just being present to explain what we do, for example.
And then do you have to be a member, a paying member to join these rides, or
Not,
are they?
you could,
Yes.
for some, if you want some of these advantages that we have behind that membership.
Okay.
But all the events, the tours that we make is all for free.
I see.
And for everybody.
So-
And they're always social rides as well.
Okay.
They're not drop rides or
Okay.
competitive
Nice.
things.
And membership benefits are things like discounts with your partners,
Yep,
like
for
3T,
example.
it's the type of thing.
Or maybe early bird tickets to specific stuff that we have.
And how many cities or towns are you based in now?
It's Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, Dresden, Cologne, Hanover. Not yet. maybe soon.
Okay.
With Fitlock, yeah, we do some community stuff.
Okay.
I think about seven regions in Germany, and Salzburg in Austria as well.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Robert.
Yeah, thanks.
Airport ready. Or Eurobike booth ready. Evoc does all kinds of cases. This guy looks like it's set up for integrated cockpits. You don't have to disassemble that to get it in the bag. The trusty U-Sweep pack with no dancing monkeys now has some fresh styles. Bad and plaid. Tan. And, if you believe the wall, 0% bullshit. Arnold the monkey. Continuing in the Pups on Bikes theme, Tern has the Rough House carrier for your pup up front, and if you need something bigger, Doghouse Mini in the back. Stuffy's not included. Tern does folding bikes. These are powered by Bosch. Powered by Bosch, pup approved. Nina, SQlab makes a lot of great ergonomic products. How do you start the fitting for saddles?
So the first step is always to finding out which saddle size you need, and the steps to finding out the right saddle size is first off measuring your sit bone distance, which we do with this chair right here, and then adding a value for your individual sitting position. And so the final value that we have will be the saddle size that you need. And then after that, we can have a look at the different saddle models.
And saddle position is how far forward your torso is. Whether like you're an upright like a city bike or lean forward like a race bike.
Yeah, exactly. So we can see this also at this pelvis model here. So when you sit very upright, your body weight mainly lasts directly on the sit bones. But the more sportive you sit, the more your body weight will last more on these sit bone branches. So in very sportive sitting positions like triathlon, you actually sit almost on the pelvic bone. And so that's why, because this goes like smaller towards the pubic bone, that's why a saddle in an upright position needs to be wider and in a sportive position needs to be slimmer.
Sure.
And important is that your back pockets are empty.
Okay.
And then you can just sit straight on that paper. Okay, so just sit in the middle of the paper. Yeah, then you can put your feet on the bar, make your back very straight and pull down. Yeah. Okay. Good. So now we can see how the sit bones push through the paper. I can turn it around so it's a bit more visible, so we can see both of your sit bones. And what we do next is just mark them so we can be sure we measure from middle to middle. So what you can also see here is interesting. So these impressions are of different sizes. So this could either be because in that moment you maybe sat in a specific position, but this could also be a hint that maybe you have like different leg lengths or maybe an uneven hip. And that is also something that is always important to see, because this can also greatly influence the comfort you experience on a saddle. And so SQlab saddles also do have an additional solution for like uneven anatomy, which I will explain also later when we review the saddles. So first of all, let's measure. So your sit bone distance is 10 centimeters. And then to find out the right saddle size, we will add a value for the sitting position. And because
+2.
And this is our classic gravel saddle with the new product range for 2026. We're also introducing this with a what we call Alcantara cover. So this is similar to an Alcantara leather, but it's just a different material, but it has the same look and the same feel. But in general, the concept behind this saddle is that you have 2 steps on the saddle, and the purpose is that you sit with the sit bones between these upper 2 steps. The upward risen back of the saddle helps you to really have a fixed sitting position, so that makes it very comfortable on longer rides or also on climbs, and it improves the power transmission to the pedal. And then the second step makes sure that the saddle nose is a bit lower, and then together with this small dip in the middle, we can make sure that the sensitive areas are really relieved and we don't have any issues there. And then additionally, we have the active system at the back. This is something all of our saddles also have. This allows the saddle to move minimally from side to side, and it is inspired by the movement of our hips that we have when walking, because our spinal discs, they don't have an individual blood supply, they are only supplied by movement. And so when we sit for long times on a saddle that doesn't move, that's when back pain can also become an issue. And as I said before, additionally, this active system can help make it easier for people to find comfort who have uneven hips or leg length differences, anything in anatomy that can be helped out by this additional movement.
Great. Thank you, Nina. Lurkark, you've been to a few bike shows, sold many bikes.
Yeah.
Now you are here at Eurobike talking about a whole new type of product. What is Spoke? What is the next generation of connectivity?
Spoke is a safety ecosystem using vehicle to X or vehicle to anything in terms of communication in the Internet of Things world. Okay, we enable a driver to see a rider on their dashboard and a rider to see a driver on their smartphone, Garmin, Wahoo, etc. through our app. Chip-to-chip system is faster, more GPS location accurate.
Yeah.
So it locates the driver and the rider 10 times per second, and then in the cloud looks at an algorithm that's safety awareness, to enlighten both parties, or safety critical to warn both parties, both audibly and visually, of your trajectory, your speed, and to avoid a collision.
Which cars are currently using something like this?
Well, we're partnered with Audi.
Okay.
So they're putting in all their cars next year.
Okay.
And with the Stellantis family of vehicles, which would be Jeep, Cherokee, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge.
On a much smaller but similar scale, I've noticed my Garmin now will alert me not just to things like other vehicles or steep turns coming up, but dogs, animals. Like I've been running on bike paths and I'll get an animal warning alert. I don't know how that has happened, but that's just a very small, obscure example of connectivity I've seen recently.
So Our system is not dependent, though. Garmin uses, and nothing bad about them, but they use LiDAR, radar, cameras like autonomous vehicles do.
Yes.
And this technology is chip to chip over a radio frequency that the FCC has cleared only for safety critical communications, and we're authorized to communicate there. So what that means is we don't need line of sight. So the rider could be coming off of a dark alley or a side street, and you can't see them, but you see them on your dashboard, and the rider sees the car coming.
So the driver's eyes or the car's eyes don't need to see it, just radio frequency. All right. Thanks, Blair. Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you.
Rui, I'm familiar with TPU tubes. I keep them in a lot of saddlebags as a just-in-case thing. They're nice and small and super light. I've not seen a TPU tube with sealant. Tell me the story of...
Yes. We have created a sealant just for the TPU material.
Okay.
So the normal ones don't work with TPU.
Yes.
And this one is perfect for TPU. And basically it's the same principle of tubeless tire.
Yes.
But the benefits are, I think, higher, because when the sealant in the tubeless tire dries up, you have to dismount everything, clean it, and put new sealant. Here, the sealant stays in the inner tube, so when it's dry up, you just need to dismount the tire, add a little bit of water, massage it, and you can reuse the original tubeless.
I see.
Original sealant.
Is it, you pronounce it Next, or how do you say it?
NXT, yeah, Next is.
Okay, so NXT you're proposing as a substitute for tubeless, so just using that all the time, not as a backup solution.
Yes. Also, we produce the inner tube in Italy. We have the machine to extrude the tube, so we can make a different thickness of the tube. For example, this is the lighter, that is 29 grams. But we have also the middle one, 45 grams. For the road one, of course, and the biggest is around 100 and something grams, so it's very, very thick and strong. Okay. We have this new product for this year, and it's basically the inner tube, but without the valve. So you can took it in your pocket without the valve, and it's very, very light, and the volume is lower, and you just need to buy the valve, and you can mount it on the tube. So when the inner tube is off, you can dismount the valve and put it in another
tube. Okay. Yeah, it looks like you have ridden all over the world. Roughly how many kilometers do you think you've ridden?
Hi, Ben. About 70,000.
That is
I'm not really good with numbers, so Dennis, my husband, is sitting here and he could tell you exactly numbers, but roughly that's what we did. And we started originally with normal bikes.
Yes.
And we have been so heavy loaded because we're also filming, photographing, we're sleeping in tent, we're cooking by ourselves. So in the end of the day, we said, we can't do it anymore with normal push bikes.
Yes.
We need to have e-bikes.
Yes.
And this was at a time when we started to go with e-bikes around. They said everybody would ask, how do you load it?
Yes.
So this was a big challenge.
Yes.
But finally we did it even through Mongolia.
Yes.
Through the deserts. And at this time we also had our dog with us in a trailer, but unfortunately our lovely boy is not alive anymore. This has nothing to do with cycling. It was just he was an old boy, and so he died of old age. Oh. But I'm always talking. I don't let you ask something.
How many countries have you been to?
Oh,
or what are some of the countries that you've been to?
This is only a blink of the countries. So these are the countries we cycled.
And it's not like you fly in and then you.
No. We are not flying anywhere.
You don't fly anywhere. You only ride.
We started in Germany, so this is our mother country.
Yes.
But actually we are world citizens. So we are home in the world.
Amen.
And this we cycled, but also we were on foot, traveling with backpacks. At the moment we have as well an expedition vehicle.
Okay.
So what we also love to do is to be with our expedition vehicle and the e-bikes and do smaller excursions and big excursions.
Yes.
Because it's not too easy with the accus. So actually we wanted to go back to Thailand, but how do you bring the accus back? So this is a big thing, yeah? So it's good to have the vehicle, but our vehicle wouldn't support us during the driving, so it just would bring us somewhere, and from there we would start and do everything. But what I really wanted to ask you as well, I would love to mention our channel.
Well, I was about to say, if people want to follow,
I show you.
I'll follow along.
Dennis is back. So this is Dennis, my husband. Don't let you stop. So our channel is Dennis Katzer on YouTube.
All right.
You don't need this in the middle, so just the Dennis Katzer on YouTube.
All right.
And this is a sentence we all know: our planet is alive. So we are living creatures on a living planet, and I would love to tell everybody who is watching it, enjoy every day, enjoy every minute of your life. Get out and do something.
Amen. Enjoy the ride.